So far, I showed you that you can move an object by, for example, going to the transform property and typing in 2 inside the Y text box to move the object, positive 2 values along the Y-axis. Or I could, for example, press G for move, Y, and -2 to move it the opposite way 2 units. However, you can also press G and Y, and then, for example, hold the control key. And you see actually that my object kind of like moves in small steps. And that is actually because if I zoom in a little bit, see that there is a grid. And then by pressing the control key, when I'm inside the move mode, same works for rotation, it actually snaps my object center or the pivot point to the grid that is below it. So let me zoom in a little bit more, and there you can see it better. So you see I'm actually inside the move mode and I'm holding my control key pressed, and I'm always snapping to the grid. And when you zoom in or you zoom out, you can see that the grid basically gets finer when you zoom in. So then you have smaller steps you could snap to. And when you zoom out, then you have basically bigger steps. So that's kind of like the grid snapping by pressing the control key. And you see that actually I zoomed in, moved it kind of like along the finer grid subdivision, and now I zoomed out and I can't really snap it to the bigger grid units. Well, you could snap to the grid an object by pressing G and then holding the control key. Based on your view, you will snap to the coarser or finer grid. However, you can also press Shift S, and that is the snap command. And there, for example, now you see snap my selected object, so my cube, to the grid. And then based on what view level you're in, it snaps it to always kind of like the coarser grid. So for example, let's say I zoom out to here, Shift S, you see now it snapped to the intersection here. So the grid level inside Blender is actually a little bit interactive, or meaning it is zoom level dependent.